Another thing that was big for me is grounding. So I walk barefoot a lot. People think on cement it doesn't do anything, but I still feel the connection. But grass
it's
grass
earth.
is better. Yeah,
I mean, cement is made out of earth materials.
Yeah, for
so.
sure. And a lot of times people say, oh, you have to go, and we live in San Diego, but you have to go an hour and a half out of San Diego in order to get somewhere you can put your feet on the ground too. And I was like, that just doesn't fit. I can't do that as consistently.
Yeah, it's like a barrier that's
for sure.
being created. Yeah, to like find your grounding.
I think it's an obstacle that they may or may not put in their head to keep from actually grounding.
Yeah.
And to have they can be mad at. It's so much easier to just go, how come like you live in a facility that's just totally beautiful, but how come they didn't put grass here? You could get mad at that. You're like, you turn into a robot. Why didn't they put grass here type stuff? You could probably go over like a couple blocks and just find some grass to put on. That's so much easier than sitting there complaining about stuff.
Or sitting there thinking like, oh, there's no green around me. I have to drive an hour and plus to go get nature.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's a tree somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure there's some plants growing. That's nature. Yeah, perspective taking. And just thinking about how perspective taking really does support those skills and strategies and wisdom building in our life.
And also as entrepreneurs, there's an opportunity for, say you have to go up there, you could go out to those places and buy a bunch of plants because other people are going through what you are, and then just sell them right out in front of that place that you say doesn't have any nature.
Totally, right? So you see a problem? Entrepreneurs are great at seeing where the need is, what could be added to make life easier or to solve a problem. We're really great at that.
For sure. 100%. So grounding, putting my feet on grass. As far as like what you eat, you're a little more strict. I would say a lot more strict on it.
He says strict. I say
it's all about perspective.
It is. And I guess it could be strict where there's certain things that are a yes, and there's certain things that are just like an absolute no, because my body's like, no, thank you. So some things are about morality, or my perspective on that. And then other things are really about listening to my body and like honoring that it is its own intelligent entity and it's constantly communicating to me. And if I want to be in the present, if I want to be more aware of what approach would best suit a certain circumstance, I have to be able to be available to that. And if I'm bogged down, if my body's bogged down with things that it didn't like, and I'm all just like, oh, my stomach hurts, or oh, I feel foggy in my head, or all these different things. So nutrition is such a big thing for me, and water, guys. So you gotta hydrate that brain, hydrate the body. Yeah, for sure. Nutrition plays a really big role, for sure.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things, and it'll probably be I do cold showers, and a lot of people like we'll have a conversation, and they'll talk about how I want to change this habit, and I'll give them the example of cold showers, and I don't roll my eyes at them, but in my mind I'm rolling my eyes at them when they have something major going on, and then they're like, well, I can't take cold showers. And I'm like thinking,
so many people say that. Oh, I can't do that.
Because you're focused on you're focused on the more positive as opposed to like the oh, I got to eat this. You're focused on how it makes you feel.
Yeah.
So when they have a dream and they want to do this, and it's not guaranteed that they listen to me and they take the cold showers and that dream's going to happen, and it's not only is that the only way, but it's something that they've already said no to at some point, and I'm sure they know the difference between hot and cold, so it's something that they know. They have an idea about it because they've been in cold water before, to a certain extent. But it's and trust me, I'm sure people are coming across me for certain things because it's like anything with money, I want it to be easy or I'm not going to do it. Because I'm just not money driven gets in the top 5. Even though I'm an entrepreneur, it gets in the top 5 rarely. So I'm like I already have enough situation. I just anything that's going out of my way, like, and I'm always investing in my business and that type of stuff, but anything that's like way out there, because I feel abundant in from that realm. So I can see that I would look the same way to the money people, that the cold shower people are like, oh, I'm not going to do that. And it's like, you said you're depressed. It's like cold showers can't feel near as bad as getting depressed.
I'm sorry, I was probably the wrong team to laugh.
Yeah.
But that's true. I mean, like, that's so true. Our brain is naturally wired to want to deter from things that feel displeasurable. Like, we are wired that way. So it's kind of understandable, it is understandable that a lot of individuals, and maybe you watching, really don't like feeling uncomfortable. But you are a master at that, I would say. And really, like, making it a commitment.
I do it consistently. And
it's your lifestyle.
Just like, but also when you say I'm a master at it, just like the
masterful.
Masterful. It's stuff that I add a lot of different things, and it's things that I'm comfortable to. But I'm not a daredevil on stuff. It doesn't go much in the realm of anything that I see even like slightly dangerous for me to do it. It's like I'll push that out. Like somebody was saying something about skateboarding, and I was like, yeah, that just doesn't sound good at all. Like, if I really wanted to do it, but I was just like, yeah, it's like I wasn't good at it when I was a kid. It's like, well, you could get good at it. I was like, yeah, I really don't want it. Like,
right. Well, there's a difference between deciding that's not of my interests and I choose not to do that because I know I'm going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, could we agree that I'm not 100% on that, of knowing, deciphering that?
That's fair. I want to go back to this feeling uncomfortable, especially in this conversation about like skills and strategies for a changing world and your analogy about chutes and ladders. And failures. Because in that game, you roll, everybody wants a ladder, right? Like, everybody wants to take the shortcut to the win, to the end. And nobody wants to roll a chute where you get, bumped back down at all. Nobody wants that.
I think I know where you're going with this.
But what could be the value of, one, perspective taking? Right? Perspective taking, because while somebody might, be like, yeah, I'm a great roller and I'm like, I know how to get the perfect number to get me up the ladder. But there's a lot of stuff in between that they're missing out on by taking the shortcut to the end. And what might be perceived as a failure, a mistake, or a setback actually gives you more time to redo or to practice some more a skill, a strategy, and I believe this very strongly, that all challenges naturally, because everything in this world is part of that like duality, complementary nature of nature, that challenges are like pressure to a diamond. It helps it shine. It helps it be very strong and resilient. So challenges actually help us identify, if not fully aware of, our resiliencies, like our strengths, the things that make us uniquely able to move through things that weren't easy. And so in this scenario of this game, Chutes and Ladders, taking chutes actually isn't a failure. It actually isn't a setback. It might feel that way because it's uncomfortable.
I agree with that form of failure 100%, because a lot of times something that comes to us easy, I would say more of a privilege realm, a lot of times that is sabotaged. If let's think of the ladders as privilege and the chutes as adversity. A lot of times when we go back and really take the time to study it and pay attention, I was like, oh, I was driving and I flipped that person off. That's why they chased me and beat me up. I thought I was just driving, being real nice, and I smiled at them. I forgot that I flipped them off. And they're just like, oh, if I stop flipping people off, then nobody's going to chase me up and beat me up.
Let's hope that doesn't happen to you.
So there's a combination for that. So a lot of times, I mean, I don't even know what to call her. Not even an acquaintance. Well, she was a friend at some point, but we had a mutual person that was the reason why we ended up meeting each other, who really screwed me over in business, like big time. And her boyfriend had done. Her boyfriend, I had to talk to the poor guy out of suicide. She was a very toxic individual, but there was some blessings that came out of it, because when I would go to events, she would tell everybody that I was a genius, and I know I am, but I don't like to say it. And so that was a shoot that ended up positioning me in a place for a ladder.
Right. Yeah, totally. Which is really cool because in that game there are those opportunities, like strategically. If you get to certain chutes, it will actually like propel you. And I really see that like energetically, the way that what setbacks or failures can really provide us. Like it could actually provide us opportunity to like jump past a bunch of stages because we learned everything we needed to do, everything we needed to learn.